Hello, my name's Harold. Uh, Today we're going to go out to the range and try out 8 more rounds of 38 special ammo in the Taurus. I think I've got the right amount of powder in there now. This I think will be the final load, but I need to prove it. And we're going to take it out there and shoot it across the chronograph. Before we leave to go do that though, I was talking to a guy the other day. He was complaining about, gas prices. Of course, now they're down like crazy, but at the time he was talking, they were above $3 a gallon. And a lot of people probably don't realize how much it costs to actually run an evil polluting refinery. Besides the fact that every piece of equipment out there is a one-of-a-kind thing. It has to be special made, and every piece of equipment costs maybe $1 million or something out in the field. The stuff to control it is pretty darn expensive too. My last job in there was programming and maintaining the process control computers, and we had one version we called a Fox. It could be programmed with Fortran 66 or assembly language. I did a little bit of assembly, but if you want your program to be finished in your lifetime, you won't use assembly language. Use Fortran. And it wasn't the world's best Fortran. It's kind of clunky graphics and things, but what can you expect from a 1980s model computer? Then we had one that had all the calculations. It had algorithms built in to perform various and sundry calculations. It was called a video spec. The big Fox guy, he could support maybe 18, 20 CRTs at pretty remote locations, like a mile away from it or something. The one they called the video spec would only handle 4 CRTs, and it was the primary one that the operators used to control things with, because it would really very quickly bring up all the faceplates with, access to various things like control valves and such as that. The Fox 1A, those guys went for about $250,000 a piece new, and I think we had, I don't know, 17 or 20 of them, something like that. And the video specs, I think we must have had 37 or 47 of those guys, and they cost around $250,000 a piece too. And then they communicated with the final control element, which was called a unit control module, and they came in for about 100,000 new each, and we had probably, we had a lot of those, more than 100, and so you start adding all that up, you guys, with the calculator there, you'll see that's an awful lot of money. That's why it costs an awful lot to buy a gallon of gasoline, because there's a lot of expense into setting up to make it. There's also all the people that work on maintaining and processing and all that. There's a couple of thousand people in that evil polluting refinery working on making your gallon of gasoline. I'm going to put some pictures in the video. This equipment's not there anymore, probably at the bottom of somebody's cast iron pit or something, but I'm going to put some pictures up so you can see what the scale was on these things. And you'll even get to see an old printer as big as a washing machine, and the hard drives that were just as big as the printer. So here we go with the pictures, and then after that we'll go out to the range. Okay, we're going to try, hopefully this will be the last test. my ears on. You don't go without ear protection very many times before you realize it's a big mistake. Okay, now we're ready. Shut the damn phonograph again. And that's why I put the little thing up to try to guide me to shoot the right spot, which obviously I didn't. That was an average of 886 foot per second. I think that's about the right load there. And before I damage my chronograph anymore, I'm going to stop right there. Lucky for me, I've got some more of those little steel things at home. Okay, so there we got back from the range in one piece as far as I know. And let me make sure that this is all in the frame here. Anyway, we got back from the range all in one piece except for that little incident right there. And I've got 4 extras. Well, I had 4 extras. Now I've got 3 extras of these. So I can replace that pretty good. I guess you probably figured out that the reason I got 4 extras of these is that's not my first chronograph. And I'll have to admit, the first chronograph I set up out there on the table, and I thought, well, you can't shoot across that. I didn't put the little arms up, or the little shade. And sure enough, I shot that chronograph dead center, the 45. It went in one end, came out the other. And so since then, it came to me that I need to put these little suckers up so I can see where to shoot. Because when you hold your hand out like that, you've got a big old pistol there, and the chronograph's 10, 15 feet away from you. You hold your hand up like that, the chronograph disappears. You can't see where it's at. So, having discovered that, I started using the little rods and the shades on it so I could see where to shoot. And I'm glad I didn't have to come back and tell the better half that I just shot another $100 chronograph, because that would have not been that wouldn't have been popular at all. But nevertheless, now and it's just a Big K Diet Cola. I don't reload and imbibe anything that could weaken my already impaired senses. But now that I've got that worked out, I know exactly how much I want to load the thing, and we're going to go from there. I'm going to sit down with this little guy here today. It's already set up because I produced the 8 that we just shot. It's already set up to produce them, and I'm going to run off about 400 so I can get in some practice between now and the last Sunday of the month. And hopefully I'll get to participate in the pen match at the end of the month. I don't know. The boss lady's talking about other engagements at that time, and I'm hoping to work something out. But we're fixing to get busy with this little Lee press. I see on the web a lot of people talk about what's the best reloading press to buy and everything, and I've cussed this thing publicly and privately But I've been through the modifications with Magic Mike, and he sent him this little piece here, and he's got all the primer system worked out to where it works perfectly. And I've acquired a different shell plate that I've modified to do 9mm with. And even though I've cussed it so much, after all the tuning and everything, I've actually got it working really good. And I guess if I were going to buy another one so that I could be like some of those guys that got one for each caliber, you know, a press, I kind of figured I'd buy another Loadmaster. I never thought I'd say that, but and that's not saying that Dillon isn't a much superior press, and probably Hornady as well. But once you've gone to all the trouble and work to get this guy working just right, well, you got your money's worth then, and you might as well go ahead and go with it. And you probably figured out by now that I'm pretty cheap. So I'm going to turn off the camera and get started loading up about 400 rounds to do me for the rest of the month. Now, in case you were unclear about the chronograph results, the ones it measured there were 886 foot per second, and that's close enough to 900 for me, at least for now. The revolver has a nice kick to it at that, and that's a really big chunk of lead to be throwing that fast, so I'm pretty sure the bowling pins will jump in the air and clean off the table. At least when I hit them, they will. 408 rounds. Not bad for an afternoon. Thanks for watching. Consider subscribing.